this button pressing that I do at the beginning of everything. Anyway, I'm there now. I'm there now. So I also was playing with backgrounds, but because this is not great and the lighting's not brilliant, but I think when I do those backgrounds, my hair goes missing. Anyway, what I'm here to share with you today, it's just been over on Facebook telling you that's what I'm going to do, is a follow-on from the little live training I did on Monday, which was around stop solving the problem or trying to solve the problem because you make the problem worse, which sounds crazy, but if you listen to the video, it kind of makes sense. So what I want to follow on with is something I've coined the term emotional navigation, which is your next step. On Monday, I said, okay, here's the only thing I'm going to suggest is that you just let go, just let go of trying to solve the problem for maybe 5 minutes a day. And I talked about doing nothing, or maybe rather than nothing, doing something, but not anything that involves you thinking, overthinking, working, trying to figure things out, something that doesn't require any of those things. And I mentioned a couple of things, maybe crosswords or knitting or whatever. What that is, and what I'm going to talk about today, is this thing I describe as emotional navigation. And this was something I discovered quite by chance when I was in the depths of distress, depression, anxiety, loss of self, completely and utterly overwhelmed, had no idea what to do or how to do it. I just had tried everything. Every tool in my basket was out on the table and being used and tried, and nothing was working. And remember, I was coming at this menopause thing, even though I didn't know what it was, from the perspective of someone that had mental health tools. I was a clinical hypnotherapist. I helped all kinds of people with serious problems, a lot of them, eating disorders, OCD, anxiety, you name it. And I had quite a lot of success. So it made the problem worse for me that I couldn't figure this out until one day I finally got a moment of clarity, which I think came from the fact that I'd begun to meditate. I'd kind of realized that this at least was something I could do in my day that would give my head a break from the relentless, how do I solve this problem, that goes over and over and over in your head in various guises. So the brainwave I had, and you may have heard this story before, was that I suddenly thought, hang on a minute, what do I do when I'm faced with a client who's sitting in front of me and nothing else is working? And you ask them, how life would be better, and they have no idea, because they're so deep in the problem that the prospect of even imagining what life might look like when it's better is beyond them. They just can't do it. And so I asked myself the question, well, what do you do with them in that situation? And I thought, oh, okay, well, I challenge them. I ask them, what in your former life, before you had this problem, and you might need to go right the way back to some place in childhood, some other time, think of something you liked doing just for the fun of it, for no other reason than you just enjoyed doing it. And I include things that seem to make no sense. You could include jumping on the bed, pillow fights, kicking a ball, throwing a ball, making a camp, anything. Childhood is a really good place to look for these things, because often when we're children, we haven't yet formed the filters of acceptability and wasting time and doing something serious. And so often going back to childhood can help liberate that part of you that just does something because it's fun, before someone says, right, stop doing that now. And so that was the place that I started, which is why I call it emotional navigation, because it's finding something that you feel an emotion from. And that's the very first thing. There's no thought of, oh, I'll do this because, or I'll do this with a specific outcome in mind, or I do this because I've been told this is healthy or this is good for me. On any level, it's just do it because it feels good. Emotional navigation. Because what you're trying to do is re-stimulate the part of your brain that thinks that way, that can navigate this new path, this new neural pathway towards something that feels good again, because you've lost touch with that. So that's what I mean by emotional navigation. So the way you can do that for yourself now is to think about the things I've already shared with you. Make it easy. It sounds crazy, like finding something easy is the difficult thing to do. Oh, nothing's easy. What I mean by that is avoid placing obstacles like, oh, I'll look for a class on, or I've always wanted to do pottery, but, oh, hang on a minute, there's no classes near me. Oh, I'll sign up for something when COVID and lockdown is over, or there's a class starting 3 months. Avoid picking something that is in the future. Find something you can do now. If you need to look outside of your own environment, then find something that's on virtual class right now, today, or just look around your environment. You know, is it jumping on the bed? You know, I saw a great video from someone who was a former client of mine, who now runs a really successful, it's a gym business, but it's better than just a gym. It's way better than that. And she posted a video on Instagram of her with her lockdown son, and they were playing this game of, you know, you couldn't, I can't remember the description, but you couldn't fall. I remember playing this as a child. You had to walk across items of furniture because there were shark infested waters if you landed on the carpet. And she was doing this with her son. So be creative, be childlike. Think about, you know, is there a ball of wool and a knitting needle or a crochet needle somewhere hidden? You know, is there a piece of fabric that maybe you thought you could sew? Have a look at Craftivism for some ideas of simple things you could try. And it doesn't have to be crafty. It could be, you know, is there a musical instrument lying around somewhere that you've never learned or never picked up? Or even, and this may not be you, but I personally find sweeping really great. I love sweeping. So if you have a broom and a hard floor, try that. Just find there's something very rhythmic about sweeping, or dancing, or anything. This is emotional navigation. This is the first step to just creating a bit of space for your mind to go, oh, thank goodness, I can rest for a bit. Okay, I'm going to park it there, because these trains are meant to be short and sweet and just give you one little thing to think about at a time, because the last thing you need is a load of stuff to contribute to overwhelm. So start there and let me know how you get on. Leave a comment below with, you know, the thing that maybe you've come up with, because your idea may spark somebody else's idea and help another person too. And let us know how you get on. Let me know what works for you, and whether you did find just 5 minutes of respite by doing something different, because you are sowing a seed. There is method in my madness. You are sowing a seed which starts a process which leads you out the other side more quickly, and not just to the place you used to be, but to a better place. This is the seed of opportunity, of life really beginning on your terms, how you want it. Really exciting stuff. So let me know how you get on, and I'll do my usual, you know, trying to find the buttons to turn this off and all that malarkey. But hope you found that helpful. Bye for now.